Cheryl Atkinson has this exclusive report on a Scandinavian junket that may get some of them in hot water.
Few would argue with the U.S. having a presence at the Copenhagen Climate Summit.
I'm always hopeful.
But wait until you hear what we found about how many in Congress got all expense-paid trips to Denmark on your dime. Our camera spotted House Speaker Nancy Pelosi at the summit. She called the shots on who got to go. That's House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer. And there's the embattled chairman of the Tax Committee, Charles Rangel.
You take care of Mr. Rangel?
He sure is.
They were joined by 17 colleagues. Democrats Waxman, Miller, Markey, Gordon, Levin, Blumenauer, DeJette, Inslee, Ryan, Butterfield, Cleaver, and Giffords. And Republicans Barton, Upton, Moore, Capito, Sullivan, Blackburn, and Sensenbrenner. And that's not the half of it. But finding out more was a bit like trying to get the keys to Fort Knox. Many referred us to Speaker Pelosi, who wouldn't agree to an interview. Her office told us it will comply with disclosure requirements, but wouldn't give us cost estimates or even tell us where they all stayed. Senator Inhofe is one of the few who provided us any detail. He attended the summit on his own for just a few hours to give an opposing view.
They're going because it's the biggest party of the year. You know, the worst thing that happened there was they ran out of caviar.
Our investigation found that the congressional delegation was so large it needed 3 military jets, 2 737s and a Gulfstream 5, up to 64 passengers traveling in luxurious comfort. Along with those who flew commercial, we counted at least 101 Congress-related attendees, all for a summit that failed to deliver a global climate deal. As a perk, some took spouses, since they could snag an open seat on a military jet or share a room at no extra cost to taxpayers. That's Congresswoman Giffords holding her husband's hand, Moore Capito and her husband. Markey took his wife, wearing red, as did Sensenbrenner. Congressman Barton, a climate change skeptic, even brought along his daughter. Until required filings are made in the coming weeks, we can only figure bits and pieces of the cost to you. 3 military jets at $9,900 an hour. That's $168,000 just for flight time. Dozens flew commercial at up to $2,000 each. More than 300 hotel nights booked, the bulk at Copenhagen's 5-star Marriott. Meals add tens of thousands more. Watchdog Steve Ellis wasn't against a U.S. presence, but considering the deficit,
every penny counts. Congress should be shaking the couch cushions looking for change rather than spending cash for everybody to go to Copenhagen.
Nobody we asked would defend the supersized congressional presence on camera. One Democrat said it showed the world the U.S. is serious about climate change. And all those attendees who went to the summit rather than hooking up by teleconference, they produced enough climate-stunting carbon dioxide to fill 10,000 swimming pools. Which means even if Congress didn't get a global agreement, they left an indelible footprint all the same. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
Earlier this month, Cheryl Atkinson exposed a congressional junket to the climate conference in Copenhagen, a delegation of more than 100 traveling on your dime. Tonight we have a better idea of just how many dimes it cost you. Once again, Cheryl follows the money.
There's new light shed on the Copenhagen Climate Summit in Denmark and how much it cost you, thanks to recently filed congressional expense reports. Official filings and our own investigation show at least 106 people from the House and Senate attended. Spouses, a doctor, a protocol expert, and even a photographer. For 15 Democratic and 6 Republican congressmen, food and rooms for 2 nights cost $4,400 tax dollars each. That's $2,200 a day, more than most Americans spend on their monthly mortgage payment. We asked Congress and staff about whether they're mindful it's public tax dollars they're spending. Many told us they never even see the bills or expense reports. Congressman Henry Waxman is a key climate change player shown here in Copenhagen. Last week we asked him about the $2,200 a day bill for room and food.
I can't believe that. Would you believe it, but I don't know.
But there it is, right next to his name in black and white. The group expense report was filed by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She wouldn't talk about it when our producer tried to ask.
Regarding the Copenhagen expense account, Madam Speaker,
Pelosi's office did offer an explanation for the high room charges. Those who stayed just 2 nights were charged a 6-night minimum at the 5-star Marriott. One staffer says they strongly objected to no avail. You may ask how they'll negotiate a climate treaty if they can't get a better deal on hotel rooms. Total hotel, meeting rooms, and a couple of $1,000 a night hospitality suites topped $400,000. Flights weren't cheap either. 59 House and Senate staff flew commercial during the Copenhagen rush. They paid government rates, $5,000 to $10,000 each. Add 3 military jets and the bill tops $1.1 million, not including all the Obama administration officials who attended, well over 60. In fairness, many attendees told us they did a lot of hard work and laid the groundwork for a future global treaty.
It was awfully cold, and I was there because I thought it was important for me to be there. I didn't look at it as a pleasure trip.
But considering the size of the deficit and the fact that no global agreement on climate change was reached, critics questioned the supersized U.S. delegation. More than 165, leaving the impression there's dollars to burn, in this case, more than $1 million. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
You've probably seen the infomercials for Feed the Children. They've been on TV for years now. The charity is the 5th largest in the country, with more than $1 billion in donations every year. But tonight there are serious questions about how much of that money actually goes to feeding children. Investigative correspondent Cheryl Atkinson has this exclusive report.
Surprise!
Feed the Children is perhaps best known by its infomercials featuring founder, the Reverend Larry Jones.
For only $8 a month, you can help feed a child.
After the Haiti quake, the charity sprang into action. The Oklahoma City headquarters buzzed with activity. Donors sent in $1 million in cash. But most donors have no idea about the nasty family feud that's tearing apart the $1 billion a year charity. On one side, founder Larry Jones. On the other, Jones's daughter Larry Sue and the charity's board of directors. It came to a head more than a year ago when each side accused the other of the worst sort of financial improprieties. In a lawsuit, Larry Jones accuses the board of serious financial neglect, claims his daughter misused charity funds, including living in a $1.2 million LA home on the charity's dime, and that she engaged in illegal schemes to cover up unpaid taxes. Larry Sue denies any wrongdoing. The board claims it's her father who got caught taking bribes and kickbacks, awarded himself and his wife unauthorized pay raises, and went so far as to bug the executive offices. Larry Jones fired his daughter and the board members who opposed him, but when a judge reinstated them, they turned around and fired him. Feed the Children wouldn't address the legal dispute on camera. Mark Hammonds is Larry Jones's attorney.
Larry Jones has not engaged in any financial improprieties whatsoever.
Has Larry Jones done anything wrong?
Yeah, he made a mistake. He relied on people and they let him down.
Watchdog Daniel Borokoff says donors are the ones who've been let down. He's been questioning the charity's practices for more than a decade.
It's ridiculous that this charity can continue to raise money and have its hand out to the donating public.
We asked Feed the Children spokesman Tony Sellers about Borokoff's allegations.
Only 21 to 23% of your cash donations that people give actually go to program services.
I can't address that. I can just address to the people that when they support us, what they want us to do is feed children and families, and that's what we're doing.
54% of your cash is spent on TV, radio ads, and direct mail.
Again, I cannot verify or comment to that.
Sellers says the good they do can be seen all over the world, like in Nashville, where they distributed food and personal items to the needy.
Thank you.
Borokoff warns that looks can be deceiving.
Certainly they're going to be doing some good, certainly enough, not to be too cynical here, but enough good to look good in the fundraising and promotion of the charity.
Which brings us to Haiti. In online email messages and on its website, Feed the Children claimed it set up a base and was running a huge camp, providing medical relief for 12,000 people. We decided to send our camera to the camp in Carrefour, west of Port-au-Prince, to see for ourselves. We found the camp was set up by local monks and nuns, not Feed the Children.
This is the sisters' site. The brothers are next door.
What about the claim that Feed the Children was running the camp? Apparently, that's not true either.